where a lot of people are in the hope that the flights are going to resume from 25th, and they would be able to, in fact, go across to various airports as well. Now, there are certain SOPs which have been put in place for this. Let me just very quickly take you to these SOPs. So basically, what are the do's and don'ts, as far as this is concerned? It's on your screens right now. What you have to, in fact, remember and understand is that when you go inside the airport, you'll have to report at least 2 hours before. There would be, a thermal checking. Arogya Setu would also be, will be mandatory as far as this is concerned. Now, the government, in fact, says that they are making sure that the flights, the skies, whenever they are open, there could be passengers which could be, in fact, they can be taken to safety, and all the precautions are taken as far as this is concerned. Now, let me now very quickly take you to a few of the ground reports which have been filed by my colleagues, Polumi and others, those who are, in fact, tracking various airports on the kind of preparations which have been made. Take a look.
We're standing at Delhi airport right now, and the much anticipated decision has now been announced by the Ministry of Civil Aviation. Domestic flight operations will commence after an almost 2-month-long gap on May 25th on Monday. So passengers will be able to start booking their flights very shortly for flights across the country. Obviously, these are operations that will be started in a very calibrated manner. So on the commencement day itself, on May 25th, we're expecting only 1/3 of the flights to fly across the country. It's only in a phased manner that these flight numbers will be increased. The Minister, of course, for Civil Aviation says that the flights will go across the country, only the number of flights will be fewer. Passengers will be expected to follow certain SOPs and guidelines. For instance, you will have to arrive at the airport 2 hours prior to departure time of your flight. There will, of course, be thermal screening that you'll have to undergo before you enter the terminal building. There will be web check-in that you'll have to, of course, do, and, of course, before the web check-in happens, for a boarding pass to be issued to you, you will have to fill in a self-declaration form which says, among many other things, that you have not been tested positive for COVID-19 in the last 2 months. Only then will you be able to board the flight. Your Arogya Setu app, which you're expected to download on your smartphones, you will have to say that you are in the green. If you're in the red, then you will not be allowed to board the flight. On the flight itself, the Minister has made it absolutely clear. On the aircraft itself, the middle seats will not be left vacant because that's not economically viable, but everything will be done in order to ensure that there is minimum interface between passengers in the aisles and, of course, around the washrooms as well. There is not much queuing up. There won't be any in-flight literature. Meals won't be served on the flights as well. So several measures that will be taken in order to ensure that maximum precautions are taken, so that, of course, passengers are safe as they board these flights as well. As far as ticket prices are concerned, the bookings are still open. Airlines have said that they have geared up and they're prepping right now, and they will be opening up booking very soon. But as far as ticket prices are concerned, because there's a lot of anticipation that this could possibly hike up prices, given that fewer flights will be flying in the first phase of domestic operations commencing, the ministry has said airlines will have to abide by the lower and the upper limit of flight fares prescribed by the Ministry of Civil Aviation. So they cannot hike up the prices. Behind me, what you hear are announcements that are constantly being made at Delhi airport for passengers to maintain social distancing, which, of course, is going to be the new normal. With camera person Sanjay Chaudhary, Polumi Saha, the Delhi airport for India Today.
Okay, so let's now very quickly tell you what are the SOPs which have been sent by the Airport Authority of India. Number one, use of technology for contactless processing, thermal screening before passengers enter the terminal, baggage to be sanitized outside terminal, entry inside terminal at least 2 hours before the departure, masks and gloves will be compulsory, PPE kits for airport staff, Arogya Setu app will be mandatory except for the kids below 14 years, and social distancing important for airport seating. Now, use of trolley should be avoided only if there are elderly, and if you have too much stuff to take, that's when you would be allowed to use the trolley. Apart from that, what are the things that passengers need to do? The do's, you need to now change your habits when it comes to going to the airport. So what are the things that you can do at home? Advance, ensure web check-in, print boarding pass, print and affix baggage tag ID. You must also download the Ayogya Setu app, self-certify health status on the Setu app, mask and gloves, important before entering the terminal. And as we said, 2 hours before the departure of your flight, you have to reach the airport. 2 passengers in drop vehicle only. No flyers will be allowed from contaminated zones. If you don't do all these things, you will not be allowed at the airport. Now, what is it that you have to do at the airport? Ensure web check-in and printing of the boarding pass, print and affix the baggage tag. You must also download, what are the things that you won't be able to do inside a flight? You'll have to keep your mask on, minimize face-to-face interaction, minimize use of toilets. You can't queue outside the toilets. No meals will be served in the aircraft. Newspapers, magazine, other things which you are used to on your flights won't be available, and on-board sale of any item will also be restricted. What you can't do at the airport, you can't reach airport late. If you are flying from a contaminated zone, you won't be allowed. You won't be allowed without wearing mask and gloves. You can't violate airport and airline protocols. Queuing up outside the washroom, touching the surface of the airport, communication with other flyers, and speaking to the staff will have to be very less. Carry more than 1 check-in bag. You just can carry 1 check-in bag.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.